Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and today we're going to talk about how monogamy is not one size fits all. And I've got my miniature friend Jade joining us once again. My little garden gnome friend. So what is monogamy to you? Because obviously we got polyamory, we've got a whole list. This is actually what comes from an article that was on MSN, and the title of it was "Monogamy Isn't a One-Size-Fits-All Relationship Style, Though It May Seem Like It." And it's from Hunter Leviathan. That's a kind of unusual name. So, Miss Jade, what is monogamy to you? Because you come from an interesting background. You had a lot of dads, apparently, because your dad was gay.
Yeah.
So you have obviously probably a different take than a lot of people.
For me, it's like if you're in love with someone, you expect the same respect. To me, being a monogamous, if I'm with somebody that I truly care about, then I don't want to be with anybody else. I don't see myself being with anybody else. And I'm like, if I see like other people, like guys or women, if I see them being attractive, it's pretty much just like a blank scale to me. Being monogamous, I don't have feelings for someone else when I'm in love with that one person, you know? And I would hope that they would feel the same.
So you're a one-man kind of girl?
Yeah, and if we're in a serious relationship, yes. If not, then you obviously would talk about that before. You want to know it, like if you're seeing someone casually, and then you're seeing someone else. You should probably let them know that you're being casual as well, because if you're having multiple partners, you don't want to be in. Wouldn't you want to know if they were having multiple partners? Because some people are not as clean as others. So you need to know if they are. Being monogamous to me is, you share something special with that one person, and whether it's, love or sex or something like that, you share your minds as well. So that's being monogamous to me. You're sharing that one thing with that one person, and that's something special that you shouldn't.
Share your soul before you share your body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because when you're not monogamous, you're not giving your all to those other people. It's just like a little piece. But when that one person has you and only you, then you're giving them your all, your soul, your mind, your body, everything. So I think that's more precious than spreading it around.
Spreading your seed far and wide?
Sowing your loins. Your wild oats.
Shooting your yogurt in all directions, standing in all comers.
Just blasting out babies.
Multiple hot beef injections for everybody.
Oh, Lordy.
So we've got different types of non-monogamous relationships. We've got polyamory, which is having more than one romantic and or sexual relationship at a time. Usually there is an emotional component. And this is obviously right from the article that Hunter wrote. So it's like having intimate and committed relationships with multiple people.
I personally, like I said before, unless you're in a dedicated relationship, and then I feel like you can just do whatever you want. Just be safe about it. It's...
Wear your raincoat, gentlemen.
Wear your raincoats. Put your hat on. Do whatever you got to do. Was I seen a show that he's like, you got a shower cap and some duct tape.
Shower cap and duct tape.
Yeah, but...
So what do you think about polyamory? And so that is basically where you have multiple, a couple.
Yeah.
But either one or both of the people in that particular relationship have, it's kind of like, it's not an open relationship, but it's kind of like a closed group of partners, meaning they're not, in other words,
you're pretty much all married to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's just not for me. I personally, I don't like people touching my things.
You don't want anybody else touching your man?
No, I do
share?
not. I'm not a sharer at all. Like, if I claimed
no community property.
No, this is not community property. Yeah, no, it's a no for me.
The garden gnome says veto on the community property.
For other people, it may work out. Some people who are not monogamous, that works out for them, because I mean they like spreading their seeds. But yeah.
And so then we have an open relationship, which is where it's interesting. We did an article recently talking about this a few weeks back, and I guess it was a sex therapist, I think, that had done the article, and they saw like a 40-something% increase in open relationships over the last few years with the lockdowns. And what makes sense is that you've got, because I mean, the reality is a lot of women marry guys they're not in love with.
Yeah.
And the guys have no idea. I wrote about this in my first book, 3% Man, obviously. And there was a doctor that I knew in Orlando, and we were on this cruise, and I was chatting with his wife, and she was telling me, she's like, she didn't even fall in love with this guy for, I can't remember how many years it was that they were together. This is a very successful, well-off doctor, and he saw her, and he just went after her, and he wanted her. And she just kind of went along with it. And she was, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, whatever it was. Maybe it was 6 or 7 years. I couldn't remember how many years. But they were together for several years before she finally fell in love with this particular guy. And he had absolutely no idea. And what's funny is years later, they ended up getting a divorce. But that happens to a lot of guys.
Yeah.
They're marrying women that are, the women settle. They're a little older. They figure, I'm not going to find anybody. This is a good for now. This will work. I want to have some kids. I want to have some babies. And most people do that. Most people major in minor things. I think is Jim Rohn was the original one that said that.
Well, I mean, that happens a lot, I feel, here in South Florida. A lot of older men marrying younger girls. But I mean, that's all over too as well. A lot of people, I mean, money attracts a lot of things. Like, you would see people with, I'm not trying to say, whether, different people, like the way people look or how their job doesn't help. But I mean, if you weigh 600 pounds and you make $40 billion and you see that man walking down the street with a girl that looks like a Victoria's Secret model, yeah, it's
money
the
cuts
money.
A lot of ties.
Yeah, it's definitely the money. As it's not like they grew up together. It's not like they were been best friends since kindergarten or any of that. It's for the money.
Maybe he's funny and charming.
No, I mean, no.
Well, because you are a younger woman that's in a relationship with an older man.
Well, it's not crazy outlandish. It's not outlandish.
So what are you guys, 15, 16 years apart?
We're 15 years apart. Yeah. Yeah, 15. So, I mean.
And you like older men just because they're more mature, I would assume?
Well, with older men, you don't have to fix them. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to, fight over. I mean, you're still like, me and my boyfriend, like, I have to fight to try to pay for the bill because he always, that's just how he was raised, was to, take care. But I've gone on dates before where a guy was like, "Oh, I didn't bring enough money." No, this was like 10 years ago.
I didn't bring enough money.
I was like, because we went to like a bar afterwards. He's like, "I didn't bring enough money." I'm like, "What do you mean? We ate at a Mexican restaurant. The bill was $50. You didn't bring more than $50. Like, and I think he was like 32 years old. Didn't have more. I was like.
And so you were like 20, 21.
I think I was 22. I was 22 years old, something like that. Yeah. It was not his proudest moment. It wasn't my proudest moment at all, because that's embarrassing. Why would I just picked a guy that can't even pay for a second bar tab, and I drank beer.
Failed to properly pre-qualify your date.
I flirted completely wrong. Completely wrong. It turned out to be a disaster, and it was not a good time. Did
he get a second date after that?
No, he did not. It was embarrassing. I still had fun because I sent him on his merry little way. I paid the tab, and I was like, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm gonna sit at the bar now. I said,
you dismissed him.
Yeah.
Mid-date.
Yeah. I was
his funds ran out and you're like, all right, you can go on home now.
I was like, who
did he leave with his tail between his legs?
I talked to him after, and he actually wound up being one of my good friends' roommates.
You friend zoned him.
Yeah. He didn't really even get the friend. He was just in a zone that was not in mine. It wasn't in my zone. So that was embarrassing.
He got excommunicated from the Church of Jade.
The Church of Jade, yes. He was not allowed.
He got banished from your kingdom?
Yes, he did. He shall not pass.
Obviously. So back to open relationships. So open relationships are where people, back to this other article, not the one we're actually going through now, but like I said, it was a sex therapist, if I remember right. And what they were saying was that it was like 40 something, almost 50% increase in couples that were coming to them and that were experimenting with open relationships, because during the lockdowns, people were spending a lot more time with their significant other than, because if you think about it, we spend most of our time at work. And if both people are working and you only see each other maybe at night or weekends or whatever, and then now you're locked down and you're basically imprisoned.
You're running out
of
things to do.
Yeah, and you're stuck with each other, and you get, if you're already kind of bored with each other, and normally you just spend a lot of time together on the weekends. Now you're like together 24/7, and you can't leave. I mean, some of the countries like Australia, New Zealand, people weren't allowed to leave their
they've probably outplayed the Twister game. Naked Twister's probably outdone.
Yeah, well, they got bored, and so they weren't really happy, and the lockdowns really highlighted the fact that they were in a mediocre relationship. And then people that do that, it's really they're trying to monkey branch. They're trying to hold on to what they have and see and fish around and see if something better is out there.
I think that even though the lockdown was horrific, it really showed people who they married and who they were with. Like, you really are with someone this long, but you barely see each other during the week, like you said. And now you hate each other even more than you did before. So I think it helped a lot of couples realize that, let's branch out. And obviously we're not meant to be monogamous together. We're not meant to be, together. That's what happened during the lockdown. And I feel like, that's horrible. But if that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. So if you have to branch out for something, then you're not meant to be together. Some people, that's different. Different people do different things. And people are more comfortable with being open. But I think if you're monogamous at the beginning of your relationship and then you want to do an open relationship, then it wasn't really there to begin with. Then you probably shouldn't have been together in the first place. But if you were always open with one another and you said, hey, I enjoy inviting other people into the relationship and doing, different stuff with different people, then that's okay, But if you just now are saying you want to be open after being monogamous with that one person, then it was never going to work in the beginning.
So the next type, we have a triad, which is also known as a throuple. So that's where, like, there was a Democratic member of Congress. It was about 2 years ago. If you remember this, she was hooking up with one of her aides and her husband. The member of Congress. Yeah. And so I guess the aide that she was hooking up with complained, and then so I can't remember her name. I think his name was Kate or Katie or something like that. And so she resigned after all this stuff came out, because I think the assistant was complaining, and then the Katie, I think her name was, she blamed her now, soon to be ex-husband, that it was all his fault. And so that was kind of a famous
of course they did.
throuple. So she was hooking up with one of her younger female staff members, apparently.
Oh, she was or he
Yeah,
was?
she was.
Oh, okay.
I guess he was participating.
Yeah,
Because he liked other women.
Well, probably
and then she blamed it all on him and
because
said,
he probably liked the other lady better. It was something different and wasn't the same as being with, like we said before, the same person. So he wasn't meant to be monogamous in that relationship to begin with. I actually have a couple at my work. It's a gay couple, and they actually have they are a triad. They have another person that lives with them, and sometimes they'll one of the husbands, they sleeps in the bed with the other guy, or I don't know.
So it's 3 dudes?
Yeah, it's 3 guys, but the 2 are married, and then the other one is just like their boyfriend.
He's the party favor?
Yeah, I guess so. And so they have a great relationship and live in the same house. And then one of them sleeps with the other guy because I guess one of the husbands snores. So he sleeps with the boyfriend, and they just go about a normal life, but it's just 3 people. So I don't know. I don't have enough brain span and attention for that many people. Like, you have to do this. That's why I say sometimes people, when you come to lunch or you go to lunch by yourself, you don't have to entertain other people. And so sometimes that's nice. 2 people.
It's not like you ever run out of things to say.
Oh, no, that is true. But I just direct my attention to that one person is good enough for me.
Next, we have relationship anarchy. And the article says, the rejection of all rules, expectations, or norms other than the ones established by the people in the relationship. Okay, so it's like whatever kind of relationship you want to make it. Like the one you just kind of described. So was that really a throuple? Or does the boyfriend of the 2 married guys hook up with dudes outside that?
No, it's just them together.
So it's a throuple then.
But I think one of them works at like a fitting place, where you buy like dance gear for male dancers. So
I didn't know that was a thing.
I've heard some stories about some, I guess you would call it, some fellatio things. That has happened at the store. So I guess they do stuff.
It's kind of like Studio 54 was back in the day.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess they do experience sexual things outside of their relationship with strangers. So I guess it wouldn't be a triad. So
it's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all.
It's relationship anarchy.
Yes, that's what it is.
Next, we have monogamish. It says a mostly monogamous relationship, but on occasion, open to sex outside the relationship. Usually it's more recreational because it's on occasion and not a consistent attachment the way polyamory. So polyamory is basically you're in a relationship with multiple people. Monogamish is just, hey, when we want to step outside the boundaries of our comfort zone, we just indulge.
I don't think that's right either. So you either are or you aren't.
And then you got situationship. You got a romantic or a sexual arrangement without defining or labeling the relationship. Situationship lacks commitment and the associated norms and expectations.
So you're just pretty much...
So that's kind of like, that sounds like fuck buddies to me. Yeah. Friends with benefits.
Yeah.
We hang out, we enjoy hanging out, and hook it up.
And then I'm leaving afterwards or in the morning. You don't have to make me coffee, no eggs, no breakfast, nothing. I'm just leaving. That's it.
Don't have to spoon.
You don't know each other's parents' names, so...
That's casual hooking up.
You don't go out to dinner. You just go, and that's it.
So this is interesting here. He's got a bunch of bullet points. And the reasons why you might choose monogamy. You feel safe being with one person. It's easier to build a connection and be vulnerable with just one person. You form strong attachments. You're more anxious. You don't like feeling jealous or tend to get jealous easily. You like the security and stability of a committed relationship. It's part of your faith and culture. You like feeling special and being a priority. You like knowing you have a partner, somebody who's close to you and only you. You're wired that way. And then here's the signs that monogamy may not be for you. This is interesting because I deal a lot with this. and the emails that I get with guys that are trying to have monogamous relationships with women who basically belong to the streets.
Ladies of the evening.
And well, this is what tends to happen a lot is that and so here it says they have a tendency to cheat or have cheated in the past. So therefore they don't value monogamy, exclusivity, or loyalty, even though they may say they want that and they try to have that. If you look at their actions are not congruent. I had a phone session with a client yesterday, and they had been dating for, I guess, about a year. And then the girlfriend's hanging out with this guy. He's just a friend. You don't have to worry about him. And then now all of a sudden, that just a friend, she's actually going to be spending a couple of weeks on a trip with him.
Oh, yeah. No.
And she broke up with him. And I was like, dude, she literally was, because women are,
you can
what
read
Talk
us.
Love used to say, women don't lie and men don't listen. Well, in her mind, she said, oh, he's just a friend. Well, he's just a friend until, oops, his dick ends up inside me. And so that's basically what happened. She said, oh, he's just a friend. We know each other a long time. And then, a week or two later, oh, she's going on a trip with him for a couple of weeks.
And she's still with her.
And then she broke up with the guy before, after
The
she says,
trip?
oh, I'm going to go travel with so-and-so.
It was
And
before the trip or after?
the guy I was talking to, she broke up with before the trip.
Oh, okay.
So obviously what I was explaining to him, I said, dude, she was cheating on you.
The whole time, yeah.
She, the guy she told you not to worry about, technically that was true in that moment. But time passed, and then once something happens, then it's obvious she cheated on him. And I said, she's not going to be loyal and faithful because he's obviously, I want to get her back. I was like,
no, you don't want
but even if you
like
get
that.
her back, she'll just do the same thing all over again.
It's not. And also, why would you want to be with someone who lied to you like that? That's not something you want.
Yeah,
you want to be with somebody that would treat you like crap.
Yeah,
that has no value of how you feel and your self-worth. No, you don't care about yourself then.
So at the end of the day, it's like that's why these guys and girls, for that matter, hire me, is so because I can look at that. It's like I point out those actions because they're emotionally wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And we make our decisions based on emotions. And then we use logic and reason to justify that. And so he was all emotional about her because she'd been slipping away. So he started pursuing her more and she started losing attraction faster. And as her attraction dropped, she just was literally in the process of monkey branching from him to the new guy.
She was just waiting for
and then once
an
it looked like things were going to work out with the new guy, then she, I want to date other people. I don't feel good in the relationship anymore. And so she dipped out.
She waited for stability.
Well, she waited until it looked like it was going to materialize with the replacement. And so she monkey branched from him to the new guy. And I said, that's who she is. Just imagine you're 10 years down the road. You've had 2 or 3 kids. You're busy on business trips because this guy's a very busy professional. He travels a lot. She's bored. You got a little grumpy with her on the phone one night. And now she's pissed off at you. Then she goes and fucks the next door neighbor or your best friend or one of your business partners, and you have no idea. I said, this is why you date, so you can test drive the car, so to speak, to find out what they're really going to be like. And she's not the type of person that, even though she might say she wants exclusivity, her actions communicate she's not capable of it.
No.
She doesn't value it. And you got to have the same goals and values. So also, if monogamy is not right for you, you like having connections with multiple people, you feel constrained in a monogamous relationship. You're okay with your partner being with someone else. You like to explore different sexual experiences. You're not ready to commit with one person. You're attracted to multiple people. You don't mind being physically involved with more than one person. And you don't think there's only one person who can fulfill everything you want in a partner. So like we were talking about earlier, is that, the other things that this article brought up was that the likelihood that you're going to be with one person for your whole life, when the numbers just don't
add up,
bear that out for most people. I believe that we have multiple soulmates. It's been my experience in that as you go through life and your life path, there's people that come into your life, and then there's people that are kind of fading into the rear view mirror.
For your because I don't think we were on when I said this, but we're constantly growing and maturing. So this one person could be there for that stage of your life, and then you grow into something else, or you fall behind. So either way, there's always a person that's going to be, well, not always, you could be by yourself, but more or less, if you're with someone, you choose that person that's with you at that stage in life. That's, let's say you're doing very well. You would hope to pick someone that's doing the same as you. And if you're not on the same spectrum, you would pick someone that's on the same as you for more or less. And then as you grow older, get mature, people also die. So, I mean, you could marry after or get together with someone after your significant other passes away. So, I mean, the whole time you're looking forward to being with that one person, hopefully, I mean, you should have experienced other people before. I feel like you should experience other people before you think you've met that one person. And then that one person, something happens, or you just grow apart from each other. And then for that one stage or one
you grow together, you grow apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, you moved on to something else. You like pottery one day, next day you might like driving fast cars and racing. So, you change. Everybody's it always evolving. So, you have to find someone that evolves with you. And then you are doing pretty much the same thing. Like, that's how I feel.
That's how I feel.
That's how I feel.